going to show how to make this beanie. It's very easy to make, only 2 rows and using only 2 stitches, knit and purl. This is good for men and for women, for both. It's unisex. This pattern, you can make it for men and for women. It's very easy to make, as I told you. Hope that you try it. So for this beanie, we're going to use needles number 6 millimeters. So when you go to buy the yarn, make sure that you buy the yarn that goes with the needle 6 millimeters. And we'll have to start with the cast on. When we cast on 70 stitches for this beanie, we have to cast on 70 stitches. So as usually in the knitting, the first stitch I put it directly on the needle without knitting it, as always. We go to the second stitch and we knit it. We knit the second one. Now we're going to purl the next 2 stitches. That is 1 and that is 2. It's very easy, this stitch. 2, knit 2, purl 2. Now we're going to knit the next 2. That is 1 and that is 2. Now the next 2 we're going to purl them. As I told you, this row is knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. You continue like that. So these 2, we have to purl them. That is 1 and that is the second one. And that is 2. And that is the purl 2. Those 2, we knit the next 2. We continue the row like that. As I told you, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. These are the 2 knits. And then the next 2 we purl them. That is 1. This is 1. And we're going to do the second one. And we continue this row like that. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. This is knit again. We knit again the next 2. One and 2. And you continue like that. Now we're going to start the next row. The first one we'll put it directly on the needle, and the other one we're going to purl it. The row before we started with knit 2. Now we're going to make purl. That is the first one and that is the one purl. Now we're going to knit the next 2. This row is like the other one, but we started with purl 2 and then knit 2, purl 2, knit 2. These are the 2 rows. This is purl 2 and we're 1 and 2 and we're going to knit the next 2. 1 and 2. These 2 rows that I showed you, you have to repeat these 2 rows always. The first row that I showed you and this row. Always repeat them until you have the length that I will be telling you. I continued knitting and this is the length that I made. I made 25 centimeters. The length is 25 centimeters of all. Continue with those rows until you have 25 centimeters. Now, we're going to start this row. We're going to start decreasing now. We're going to start decreasing. You have to finish the row. You have to start with 2 knit. The first one you don't knit it. You put it directly on the needle. And the second stitch has to be a knit, not a purl, a knit. Now, the next 2 stitches, we're going to purl them together. You take the next 2 stitches and you purl them in 1 stitch together. That way we have only 1 stitch. Now we're going to knit the next two. That is 1 and that is 2. The next two we're going to purl them together. We make them in one stitch. Purl them together. We make them in one stitch. We're going to do the next 2 stitches. We're going to knit them 1 and 2. And the next 2 we're going to purl them together. And you continue the row like that. You knit 2 and you purl 2 together. You continue the row like that. Then you knit 2, purl 2 together, knit 2, purl 2 together. So we finished the row, and the row we finished it with 2 knits. The last 2 stitches have to be knit. Now we start the next row. We put the stitch on the needle, the first one as always, and we purl the next one. Now we're going to knit only 1 stitch. We knit 1 stitch and we purl 2 stitches. Now this row we're going to do knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now we're going to purl 2. This is the second one. And the next one we're going to knit it. Purl 2, 1 and 2. And we're going to knit 1. We're going to continue like that. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2, knit 1. Here we're going to purl 2 and we knit 1, and you continue all the row like that. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, all the row like that. Now we start the next row. The first one we put it directly on the needle and we knit the second stitch. We purl the other one and we're going to knit the next 2, 1 and 2. We purl this one and we knit the next 2, 1 and 2. We purl 1 and knit 2. So this row we're going to do knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, we purl 1. You continue all the row like that. Now we start the next row. The first one, as always, we put it directly on the needle without knitting it, and we make the next stitch a purl. We purl the next stitch. We knit 1 and we purl 2. So this one, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2, knit 1. Now we're going to knit 1. We're going to purl 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to knit 1. And you continue all the row like that. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2, knit 1. Now the next row we're going to take the first 2 stitches together and we're going to knit them. The first 2, we knit them together as a 1 stitch. So we knit 1, those 2, and we purl the next stitch. We take the next 2 stitches and we knit them together, 2 together. We purl the next stitch. We take the next 2 and we knit them together. We purl the next stitch and we knit the next 2 together. And you continue all the row like that. You knit the next 2 together. You continue all the row like that. You purl 1 and you knit the next 2 stitches. All the row, you continue like that. So the row before, we finished it with knit 2. We didn't knit the last 2 together. We just knit 1 and then we knitted the other one, not together, like we started. We start the next row. We put the stitch on the needle without knitting it. Then we purl the next one. and we knit the next stitch. This row we're going to purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all the row. Now we're going to knit 1, and we're going to purl 1, all the row, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, knit 1, and purl 1. And you continue all the row like that. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all the row. Now we start the next row. So this next row we're going to decrease again. We take the next 2 stitches, the first 2 stitches, and we knit them together. Now we're going to knit every 2 stitches together. We take the next 2 stitches, we knit them together. Every 2 stitches we're going to knit them together. We take the other 2 stitches and we knit them together. All the row like that. We knit 2 stitches together, all the row. We knit them together. We take the next 2 stitches and we knit them together, and we continue all the row like that. Knit 2 stitches together, all the row. Now we're going to start the next row. This row we're going, the first one we don't knit it, all the stitches we're going to purl. Purl all the stitches this row. All the stitches that we have, we're going to purl them. All the row. Continue purling. All the stitches. Now we arrived at the last row. The last row we're going to take all the time 2 stitches together and we're going to knit them. Knit 2 stitches together, all the row. That is 1. Sorry, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last one we knit it from the back like this, and that is 9. Now you leave the thread, long thread, so we can sew it, close it with the thread we leave. Now I got a sewing needle to use on wool, and we're going to put the needle in each stitch that we have. The stitches we're going to put them in the needle so that we can sew, close them, so that we can close them. You continue putting the stitches on the needle. As you can see, the yarn, I put it in the needle, and I'm continuing putting the stitches in the needle. As you can see, this is the last one, and then you pull the thread like this, so you close at the top. The top is closed. Now, as you can see, you're going to see this part, this here like this, it's in the inside, and this is the outside of the beanie. So we're going to sew from the inside like this, and we sew all along here. We close it, we sew it and we close it all along the beanie like that. You continue all along here. Here you have this thread, the thread that we started with what we started with it. This you use it too. You sew with it. Don't cut it, because if you cut it from here, it's not good. So you take the needle and you sew with it from here to here, like that. And you continue sewing here with the thread, and you close it. You close it all from here and from the other side. You close here with it. the final result how the beanie came. As you have seen, it was not difficult to make. Hope that you try it. Bye for now.